my business doesn't happen to me. I make sure that I have success because I'm proactive and I'm taking those steps. So don't just let kind of life happen to you. This could be for business, this could be for your personal life, but decide what you want for your business, decide what you want for your life, and go after it, and you have a good chance that it's going to happen.
Welcome back to the Sold Right Away podcast, where realtors stop playing small and start marketing like top producers. I'm Maude Léger, real estate marketing strategist and business owner obsessed with one thing: helping realtors build brands that attract listings, generate leads, and actually convert. Every week, I sit down with top performing agents and industry leaders to break down what's really working in today's market. No fluff, no theory, just real conversations and strategies you can implement right away. If you're ready to stand out, scale intentionally, and win more business, you're in the right place. Let's get to work. Today, I've brought on Candice Bakx-Friesen, an incredibly driven business leader known for her grit, discipline, and powerful business mindset. Candice shares how she manages to juggle it all by mastering the art of delegation in both business and personal life, creating habits and systems that eliminate decision fatigue, and building processes that allows her to operate at a higher level every single day. If you've ever wondered how top performers actually manage their time, energy, and priorities while still growing their business, Candice breaks down exactly how she does it. Let's get to my chat with Candice. Hi, Candice. Thank you for joining us on the episode today. Tell us a little about you and how did you arrive to real estate?
Yeah, I'm a real estate agent in Manitoba, and my market is rural. So it's we have one major city in Manitoba called Winnipeg, and so primarily I work just outside of Winnipeg, sort of within the trading area of about an hour from the city. And I got into real estate kind of by not by accident, but I was approached to become a realtor and to join a real estate team. And it wasn't something that I was looking at doing. I had just got my Bachelor of Commerce degree from the university here in Winnipeg, and was thinking more either banking or something with accounting related to my field. And then I was approached to join this real estate team. Long story short, they were looking to market a big development, which never ended up happening. But here I am, 19 years later, still selling real estate.
19 years. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And tell us why rural? Why is that your expertise? Why did you choose that?
Yeah, what tends to happen is people will start where you know people. And so my first place I started was in the small town that I'm from, and it's about 1,500 people, so really small. And yeah, you start with home base. And so that's where I was marketing, and that's where I knew a lot of people. My background is entrepreneurship. So my grandparents ran businesses, my parents, my in-laws, and so it was a pretty natural fit that, when you're a kid and you grow up in that environment, what it takes, right, and what has to be done to run a business. It's a grind.
Yeah.
You hear the stories of the ups and downs of running a business, and so I knew what I was in for. So
Beautiful. Awesome. So, a little bit from becoming a realtor by accident with an entrepreneur background, what was the moment that made you decide, like, this is it? I'm going to be a realtor full time and this is what I'm going to do?
yeah, it was interesting because my husband one day he just said to me, "So this is it, right?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I can see it on you. I can see it in your face, like that you just love this career." And it was pretty early on that he noticed that. So when I married him, we married young. I was 19 and I was almost 20, I say. But I was 19 and he was 21, or no, 23. It was a 4-year age gap. So Yeah, so we married young. He was already running his own business, and he had some rental properties, which he bought early in life. It was a lot easier back then. And but still something that was pretty different. But his being again, his dad being also an entrepreneur pushed him to start early, get ahead, and all those really important core values that we now teach our four kids as well, right? Work hard, live with integrity. um, you know, yeah, those are the kinds of things that I think sometimes are missing from the education system that uh, people need to know, kids need to know, they need to know how to communicate and all those good things. Anyway, so he had bought these rental properties. So we were actually, when I got married to him with benefits because he had these properties already, which was interesting. But he um, we were already in real estate, but on the rental side, but not on being a realtor. Where sometimes that happens the other way, where people are in real estate and then they're like, well, there's a good deal, so I'll just buy this rental property. Yeah. So it happened a little bit backwards, but there was already the interest from both of us in real estate. And so, yeah, it was just a natural fit. I'm very into teaching and educating. Thinking about legacy is really important to me as well. And so I've also, in the last 7 years, been coaching at our brokerage and training. And I also do money coaching and
Right.
helping people get ahead financially, whether that's an individual or another small business. And yeah, so real estate's just been able to afford me the opportunity to have flexibility with my time, and I do work a lot. I'm a top 1% realtor out of the Royal LePage brand across Canada. So I do work a lot, but finding time to give back to the community, to help people, learn financial basics so that they can, have a strong future and to give back, again with their kids and have that legacy continue is really important to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. This is great. You're doing great because you're mentoring, you're helping, you're giving back. It's part of being an entrepreneur. So I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
What is the one thing that you know that you're really good at as a realtor that brought you your success?
Yeah, I think that it's just being super consistent and doing the basics. Everyone's looking for the magic bullet of how can I become a top agent? But it's always going back to the basics. So when we have a market shift, so when the market's very strong and then we go to a weaker market where things soften, then people are like, oh no, what do we do? And it's like, well, you just do the basics again. So, I kind of refer to an example that everyone can kind of relate to, which is going to the gym, right? And, we would all love to go to the gym one time today or tomorrow, have perfect abs, and never have to go there again. But that's not how it works. And business is very much the same. Again, having integrity, knowing that this is a long game, right? Being in business. So if people feel that they can trust you, the referrals will come. If
Mm-hmm.
you take advantage of people or don't do things kind of by the book, then your career will not be quite so long. And so there really isn't any magic. It's just doing what you know you need to do consistently. So again, if you want to be a bodybuilder or you want to do anything well, you want to live healthy, you got to eat well all the time. You can't just do that once either. So making the calls, reaching out to people, just the basics is what gets you success.
Nice. And then when you talk about consistency in your business and processes, I guess, is it something you do naturally, or do you actually have systems and processes that keeps you to be consistent?
Yeah, definitely. Just like having good habits in your life, when you just do what you do, and you don't even need to think about it, right? So when you wake up in the morning, you tend to have the same routine that you do every day, and there's certain things that you want in life to just be kind of autopilot, because making decisions is exhausting on our brain. So the more that we just do what we do, the better. It's like the famous people that say I wear black every day because it's easy, right? So if you just make some of these decisions like non decisions, it saves a lot of time. Time is money, and just makes the day go by quicker because you're not having to make major decisions all the time. Um, so it's the same in business. You know, if you do your day kind of always the same, you make your calls at 9 o'clock, then you do your follow ups, you do your research, whatever that looks like for you. The more that you can make it consistent, the better. The problem is that we're always fighting ourselves because we want things to be exciting. So
Yes.
we go on social media and we're like, oh, look at all these cool things other realtors are doing. But are they actually selling more houses? Not necessarily. Like a lot of the things that we're attracted to are exciting and fun, but they're also really expensive, right? And so just again, sticking to your basics, sticking to your database, who you know, getting involved in the community to meet more people if you don't know enough people, volunteering, putting your, you know, going on a board, or there's lots of different ways. There's networking events. There's lots of ways to meet different people. But ultimately, we build trust through being in person with people. So if I email you, you have no sense of really who I am other than, you know, if I can write well or not. But spending time together is where we build trust. And that's how people, throughout all the decades of real estate being around, that's how people pick their real estate agent, how they pick investment advisors. It's who are you? Do I feel that I can trust you? And will we work well together?
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Exactly. Yeah. When you think back after 19 years, do you have one valuable lesson that you have learned that for you is important to pursue a new business?
Yeah, you know, real estate is a very stressful um, process for people. It's one of their biggest financial decisions, and I
Hmm.
don't ever take that lightly. You know, every time I sell a house, it's as if it's the first house 19 years ago. It's an important decision for them, and it's also very stressful. So, our job is to educate, our job is to keep everybody calm, keep people moving along in the process. Yeah. But we tend to think of real estate as people buying their first house and they're super excited and, you know, again, the happy moments that are on TV. But there's a lot of divorce, there's death, there's job loss, there's different reasons that people are selling, and it's not easy by any means. And so we take that role of a counselor almost to continue to move people along, but to be empathetic to the fact that, you know, this isn't easy and there's often these other circumstances why that make it very difficult. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, and I think that's a key part as well of being a good realtor, is to really make sure that this is a relational business and it's not just about the house that's being sold.
Mhm. And I feel like it would keep you grounded too, to be in with the relationship with the people, not just thinking about the transaction or the commission, like being very present
Yeah,
in the transaction itself.
yep, definitely. Yep.
Nice. What is a non-negotiable for you in your business?
A non-negotiable is dealing with people who respect you. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important that you have clients that you respect, but also that respect you. If you find that you don't have that connection with somebody, you probably should just let them find somebody else that's a better fit. I'm a pretty serious person, and my character is very business serious. And so, if somebody's looking for more of a flamboyant, exciting personality, we might not be the right fit, and that's okay. There's lots of
Yeah.
realtors out there. Yeah. And so you want to make sure that it is a good fit and that they trust you, that you get along and have that open dialogue again to make sure that the transaction goes the best possible.
Yeah, I can see how that would be important for you to be respected, respecting your clients, because when you're in the transaction and the stress of it, you want them to be able to listen to you, to trust that you have their best interest in the negotiation, all of that. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you share a strategy or practice that for you allowed you to get more out of your real estate career?
Yeah, the main thing that I would say would be to delegate as soon as possible. So if there's some realtors who are listening to this and they're newer in the business, I would
Mhm.
say the first person you should always hire is a good bookkeeper. As your business ramps up, bookkeeping is kind of the last thing that most people want to do because they get in this business to serve clients, not to sit and do book work and paperwork. And so that I think is the first person, but there's ways that you can delegate some of your social media. You can hire a house cleaner to help around the house, extra childcare, a part-time assistant. You don't have to go from hiring somebody, not having anyone to hiring full-time, but finding a little um, ways throughout your day or in different parts of your life to get help would be good. When my kids were young, I had somebody come in once in a while to cook meals and have
Yeah.
our freezer full. Yeah, and so now my kids are older and it's not as critical because they can help as well a lot more. But thinking of it as a season, right? Like when my kids were young, like that's a season. Right now, I need help in this area and getting that help instead of struggling. It's not an easy career. The phone, well, messages come throughout the night, right? Like it's there's no set hours, so it can start when you wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning, and you're already getting back to people, and it can be 11 o'clock, and you're still closing deals, right? So it is a really difficult career with, and it's difficult to have balance and I like to call it work life integration versus balance because that word, I think, puts a lot of pressure on people to find balance. So, trying to make all the parts fit together in your personal and your business can be very hard, but getting that help is very important. If your partner is not excited about this career, it will also be very difficult. So you have to have a very supportive spouse. I would say that's also key in this.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, it's funny because I used to say instead of work-life balance, I would call it work-life harmony
Yeah,
because you can never have a balance. Sometimes you work a lot, and sometimes you don't work a lot, and you're more present with your family and some sort. So it's a more of a harmony than, but like you said, integration. I love it. That's a great
yeah,
word too.
yeah, exactly.
You talked about consistency and then having processes in place to know what to do. What are key lead generating activities that you do for your business?
Yeah, we're very consistent online, and I would say that that is another key part of our success. I don't pay for online leads, but having a strong, again, consistent presence is important that people kind of see you all the time online. And yeah, I don't just post only about business. I post about my personal life. I'll talk about my kids or what's going on with the soup kitchen that I volunteer at, or so there's more than just the real estate. People get to know me as a person. Sometimes I've had people say, "I feel like I know you and I haven't even met you," and so I
Uh,
think again, just being authentic online is really really important. So yeah, having that online consistency, um, having processes of how we do our business. So, from the time that I'm at an appointment to the time that the house sells, it happens the same way for everybody.
mhm.
Now, of course, there's differences within the transaction. A commercial listing won't be treated the same as a residential, for example. So, yes, there are differences related to that property specifically, but in general, how we list properties and how we handle buyer clients is pretty much the same.
It's the same process with things situation vary, and you already know, have a clear path of how it's gonna go, pretty much.
Yeah, and when you get to the point where you're thinking of hiring an employee, an assistant, then that's really where you have to come up with those processes because they need to know what they're doing all day long. And so if you're thinking of hiring somebody, starting to document what you do all day, what you would want that person to do is really important. And
Mhm.
that also helps. Yeah, the more direction that your employee has, the better, because they're
Mhm.
not wondering what's going on. They're not being thrown around in the wind with how this career can be. It's very up and down. They know exactly what they're doing, and then they have peace at their job that they understand. And again, it's like, hey, we got a listing tomorrow. Okay. And we know what needs to happen, right?
Follow the checklist. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Checklists. And yeah, there's lots of checklists. There's calendars with dates that are coming up and different things we have going on, and always planning ahead, working ahead. That just brings, um, it helps you personally to know everything's kind of taken care of. You're not stewing and thinking about all these things. They're on paper, it's planned, it's understood, and then it helps your employee as well.
Nice. I love it. Very cool. Very cool. If someone were to shadow you for a week, what would be impressing to them, or what would surprise them about how you go about your day?
What people tend to comment on the most is that I'm very calm. And so I think that if you were to shadow me versus somebody else, that's probably what you would pick up on. Just a lot of times people say too, like, how do you do it all? How do you volunteer? How do you have four kids? How do you run around and go to different events? And how does everything get done? And I say, I do have a lot of help, but I think that just being very organized um, and making quick decisions again really makes the day just go that much smoother.
Yeah, I love it. Like having processes, delegating, and then eliminated the amount of decisions you can make by having routines and stuff really, really helps, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hmm.
Okay, that's very good. In terms of marketing, what are you doing that is working really well right now?
So we use Canva. I think a lot of realtors and different marketing experts will recommend that for small business. It just makes marketing really simple for people who don't have, the knowledge that they needed for programs in the past.
Yeah.
And so that makes it easier. We have templated social media, and so when we have a new listing, it sort of looks the same. If we have an open
Hmm.
house, it looks the same. Feature sheets as well. So every year or so, we'll kind of update it a little bit, but for the most part, it's set it, forget it, because that's what branding's all about, is that consistency again in how you show up. And so, yeah, so we do that. We should do more video. I should do podcasts and be out there a little bit more. But
Ah, that's
as we have time, we do as much as we can. My
mhm.
assistant and I, and batching some of this stuff is also really important. So if we're going to shoot video, we'll shoot eight or 10 videos, and then we have content for a while. So
Yeah.
again, just really trying to be as efficient with our time as possible. And yeah, so it could be different things from real estate tips to talking about finance tips, again, helping people get ahead, talking about small business. So that's sort of the stuff that you'll find that, yeah, I talk about the most.
Good year. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And I guess in terms of marketing strategy, what is your best marketing strategy at the moment?
So mostly we're on social media. We're on Facebook groups.
Okay.
Facebook has been really good. The younger generation will say, "Oh, that's just for old people," but Facebook, the fact that it has groups is really important. Again, I work in a lot of small towns, and even within a city, you have different neighborhoods that have different groups. And so it really helps you to target the people in that town or the people who are looking to move into that neighborhood.
Mhm.
And yeah, so as many different sites as we could find, we're very consistent with on that. And and then yeah, around small towns, there'll be different opportunities, different ways to connect with people. Going through your database, seeing if there's people who are looking to sell and make a move, and trying to make those happy connections. We also go door to door, which some people think, oh, that's not for me, but I'm a top producing agent. We still do door to door. if we have a buyer who's looking for a house and there is no home available, which is pretty common in today's market. We have a shortage of listings in Manitoba right now. Very different than Toronto and Vancouver and some of the other markets that are in the opposite position right now, where it's a little bit tricky to sell. Yeah, in Manitoba, where our market's still a seller's market, but we if we can't find anything, like I'm gonna go door to door and try and find you something. So proactive marketing, I suppose, or prospecting to find a home for a buyer is also key. So we still do door to door. If I have an open house or a new listing, we flyer the local neighborhood and connect with neighbors, and yeah, we just do it all. So
I love it. I love it. Some realtors, when they're just starting, they don't know where to start, and they don't. There's so many things they can do, but it seems like you have it down to, again, a process
yeah,
to keep you busy and
yeah.
active.
Yeah, and when I train new realtors, that's the thing that they always say is like, well, I can just build my presence online and that's going to sell houses. And it's just not the same as selling a mug or a wallet, right? When you sell a product, people don't really care too much about who manufactured it for the most part, unless they're buying it because of a celebrity or something. But, I don't know who made my phone. I don't really care, right? Because it's a product and it's doing what it needs to do. But because, again, real estate is so personal, um, you have to build that rapport and that confidence with your clients in person. So, as much as when you're a new realtor, as much as you can, get in front of the people that you know, right? Go for coffee. It's a $2 coffee at Tim Hortons or wherever you are. And it doesn't cost a lot, but that's where you get those referrals is in person. And getting in front of them, making sure they see you and they know that you're building this business. It takes a long time for people to wire in their brain who you are and what to connect you with. So if I was an interior designer previous and now I become a realtor, in people's minds they would still say Design, Candice Design. And it takes seeing somebody who's starting a business many times before that gets rewired in their brain and they hear about real estate and they think of you first. When I was new, it was probably 5 years before I stopped hearing people say, "Oh, yeah, I forgot you were in real estate." So it feels like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this for 5 years. But that's how
No, no.
it happens. Yeah, it just takes a while, right? So
Mm. Yeah, I think we talk a lot about agents that start and they're kind of like a secret agent because they're not telling anybody they're a realtor or they're not ready. So I think you're right. It is important to keep top of mind, keep popping up, keep being a repeat that you are a realtor and you are in
yeah,
business.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you think about applying for a job and going for an interview. That's like people's worst nightmare, right? Other than speaking on stage and some of these other things. And as a realtor, you're going for a job interview all the time, right? And so it can be really intimidating for a long time. New realtors feel new for 3, 4, 5 years. You still kind of feel new. It takes a long
Yeah.
time. And so again, the only way to really overcome that is to do it as much as you can. So getting in front of people, even when you don't feel ready. None of us felt ready when we started. You just
Yeah,
have to do it. Yeah.
just take the plunge. Yeah, what is the best advice that you have ever received?
I would say again, just growing up as a kid of an entrepreneur, just I think my dad, my parents both ran a business together, but I think that my dad just always said, like, if you treat people well, things will work out. And that seems like really simple advice, but it's really true. I was at Starbucks once, and the lady at the till had gotten my drink, and then I was paying for it, and then the machine was trying to spit out the receipt, and there was a jam, and she was so flustered, and she's just like her hands are shaking, and there's people behind me, and I just said, you know what? it's okay. Like I either don't need this receipt or just take your time. Like we got lots of time here. And again, just being able to calm her down in that situation. So it doesn't mean like just being good to your friends or somebody who's going to buy a house from you, but in general, just treating people well. It doesn't matter where you go. There's a lot of struggle out there. People are going through stuff. It's either in their personal life or the economy is trickier. And we don't know what battles people are facing behind the scenes, right? And just holding the door open for somebody and smiling can change their day, right? And so if you lead every day with that and you look for those opportunities, I wake up and I'm like, well, I wonder what today has for me, right? I'm
Mm.
ready. I'm ready to serve however I need to serve today, wherever I go. And having that mindset completely changes everything. It's not about me and me trying to find business and me trying to this. It's just about finding other people to serve.
Mhm.
And when you can lead from that and you can have gratefulness as, again, one of your key core values and live in gratefulness. I can see a beautiful sunset in Manitoba, and with the prairies, we've got beautiful sunsets. I'm
Nice.
just like, wow, I'm just so thankful right now for this moment to be able to see this. And
Mhm.
if you can live in that and be super present every day, not worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, just doing everything you can to make today a good day, then you have a lot of really good days.
Yeah, I love it. This is so inspiring. This is so true.
Yeah,
Seeing a sunset over and over again, but still being grateful and appreciative.
yeah, exactly.
Nice. If there's one piece of advice you could leave for all realtors out there, what would it be? Mhm.
Just treat everybody with respect. And I think give people the benefit of the doubt. There's a
Mhm.
lot of times when you're going through a deal with somebody and with another realtor, and they aren't thinking necessarily about what you have to deal with your client. So
Mhm.
again, it's I might say, hey, I need a couple days, and they're like, I want an answer now. But it's like I realize that, but they have to figure out some stuff, right? Or there might be extended family to talk to, or who knows.
Yeah.
But instead of thinking, man, I bet you're trying to do something shady here, giving people the benefit of the doubt that there is something that has to be dealt with and allowing that time. That's just a simple example, but I think it comes up often that we can be so ready to attack somebody else, so ready to um, say, this is how I want it done, this is how it has to be, instead of coming together and negotiating um, so that all parties win. I think that's key. If we did, our negotiations are typically via text or email or sometimes on the
Mhm.
phone. But I think if we had to come together around a table with some coffees and negotiate in person, I wonder how much
Mm.
nicer
Yeah, it would be different.
and calmer and polite those negotiations would be. So I think that's a key thing to always remember is to give somebody else the benefit of the doubt, to try and make it a win-win for everybody. And
Mm.
if everyone can leave that deal happier, then that's really the win.
That's a win. You're right. I love it. Thank you. And then before we end today, we're almost at the end of Q1 for 2026. As a top realtor, what are your goals this year, and how will you make sure you are successful at the end of the year?
Yeah, so because I do the training at our office, we're having a quarterly review for all the agents. So they are able to come out and we just take stock of like, hey, how did the first 3 months go, as you said? And that's key. You set your goals um, at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. I usually set them earlier than that. I'm already looking at it in October. But what am I looking at for the first quarter? And now I'm looking at, okay, what's April, May, June? What are the goals for those months? And always working ahead in quarters. Again, so often people are like, oh, I want to do like a first time homebuyer seminar. but it never gets done because you don't pick the date and work backwards and make
Mm-hmm.
those plans for the next quarter. So that's one of the key things to my success, I would say, would be always looking ahead, always working in quarters. Related to the goals that I have sales wise, you can't get behind. So in January, it's a little bit harder to sell houses in Manitoba. It's pretty cold.
Yeah, sure.
People are like, maybe not. I'd like to just stay home when it's minus 30, and there's a wind chill of minus 40. But that can happen where maybe you're a little bit behind on your goals, and all that means is that you have to ramp up what you're doing. You have to double down on your activities so that you can catch up and catch up quickly. So if somebody is listening to this and they're a little bit behind in the first quarter, making decisions quickly and plans that you need to know what you're going to do to change that. So my business doesn't happen to me. I make sure that I have success because I'm proactive and I'm taking those steps. So don't just let kind of life happen to you. This could be for business, this could be for your personal life, but decide what you want for your business, decide what you want for your life, and go after it, and you have a good chance that it's going to happen.
Wow. Wow. I love it. This is so true. Very refreshing, very different, very business perspective from a real estate point of view. I really enjoy this. This is great.
Yeah, it's been great chatting.
Yeah, thank you. Tell us, where do our listener can find you?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, got my own website. So if you ever want to connect, just reach out. I'm happy to have a virtual coffee with anybody who wants to pick my brain about some of these topics. My website is my name, CandiceBakx-Friesen.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time today. I think that was really great, and I'm excited to share this with everyone.
Thanks, too. Have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in the Sold Right Away podcast, where serious realtors come to think bigger, execute smarter, and win more listings. If today's episode challenged you, sharpened you, or made you rethink how you're running your business, don't just listen and move on. Take action. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a realtor who actually needs to step it up. And now, I want to know, what is the biggest marketing bottleneck in your business right now? Is it leads, branding, consistency, or conversion? Don't just guess your way through it. Book a call with me at soldrightaway.com. In 15 minutes, we can build a plan that actually moves the needle. Until next time, work smarter, take action, and get more out of real estate.